It was a mild December day. I was in the middle lane and the motorcycle was running smooth. The road was empty, sparse. The grey of tarmac and ash-like morning sky shared the same kind of softness and the same bareness. I looked across the sky. The sky was vast, dramatic, but in some unusual way welcoming. It was distinctly drawing attention to itself. There was a moment of strange calmness, of a silence, the alertness wild animals have just before something is about to happen. My eyes blinked, drawn to immerse themselves deeply in this sky. In the same way, my breathing deepened. What do you value in life? The voice came from this vast sky. It was calm and soft, but resolute. The words resonated in me, each bearing its own weight, simple yet important. Their sound so clear. The sense of importance and seriousness suffused the air around, as if there is only one answer, and you know you have to get it right. You start breathing heavily. Is it the outward appearance? It repeats in the same tone. I knew it was referring to you, to your inner qualities that I seem to overlook, focusing on your external features. It is the inner values, I say. It lets you pause. What would you do to the parents who raised their children into such beautiful adults? An exaltation is arising within me that brings me to the verge of crying. I would kneel in front of them and kiss their hands. Then silence, but not normal silence. Silence that awaits something, that lets your own words be heard. And only then, how would you raise your own children? Choking through welling up tears, I would raise them with these values. It pauses again. You decided you want to have a partner, and you looked at this young woman. You thought of everything and arranged so much, even your room. For years, I haven't touched my room, living against my own sense of aesthetics. Only now, when I invited you for Christmas, I redecorated everything. Bought new carpet, armchairs, a coffee table, to host you as decently as I could. You have forgotten one thing. I forgot something, of course. I must have forgotten something. You wander in the recesses of your mind, looking for this something you forgot. What have I forgotten? What have I forgotten? I repeat. You have forgotten to love her. Something breaking in you. Layer by layer, everything crumbles down. There is this series of convulsions coming from below the stomach, as if the body wants to cough up something, and then it all starts to flow out in an unstoppable stream of tears. Its first run shoots out so hard it hits the inside of your visor. If there is any sense of nakedness in life, you are now there in it, held, unresisting. did you leave me? I say. Why did you allow for me to lose myself so far? I did nothing but search for you for 15 years. How come I have ended up in here, all alone, all lost, with nothing, just an empty heart? Where did I take a wrong turn? Where did I lose it? Why didn't you stop me? The tears flood my face. Something fills up your body again from below the stomach. It's reaching its culmination and suddenly your heart bursts open. You cry like a child drowning your face in a pool of tears. You won't be aware for some time, but it will slowly come to you that you are filled with something extraordinary. It is boundless and incomprehensible, simple but sophisticated, calm and mysterious. And the closest name for it you know is love. You are now a different man than a moment ago. They come one by one, the things I neglected in my life, people I mistreated, friends I abandoned, situations I left unresolved. Each of them makes you clench your jaws and squeeze more tears. The promises I have never fulfilled, words I have never spoken, people to whom I have never returned their kindnesses. They come one by one and they hit you strong. You will make it your vow to carefully attend to each and every single one of them. You know that this vow follows the requirement. It is a requirement and condition of this very thing, before you can fully accept it, as if love can be faced only when your heart is purified of past deeds. You know that only when your redemption is complete, when each and every one of these tasks is fulfilled, can you stand in front of her having nothing but pure heart. I turned at junction 5, went across the ring road, passed by the cafe where you worked and headed for Croxley. I entered an open stretch of road. The bike slowed down. I swept across the panoramic view of sky in front of me, taking in the whole landscape and breathing it so freely. Gosh, my heart is at such peace. I hadn't realized it earlier. Only now, at the point of saying these words, could I confirm to my own astonishment the peace I found myself in. My redemption started right away. The son of the owner of the Italian cafe in Croxley that I developed some silly prejudice against. I parked the bike and went inside Tony's. I spotted his son sitting by the back door. I walked past him, stopped and turned. "Hi, still working out then?" He looked at me, surprised. My face welcomed him with all the openness and joy I could muster. Yeah, I'm still training. Hesitant, he started to smile himself. I can see. You're bigger than the last time I saw you. He smiled broadly. Are you off to Italy for Christmas or staying here? I'm staying here. Merry Christmas then. Merry Christmas to you. That was enough. He knew. I walked out of Tony's towards the motorcycle. The sky was still unbelievable. It seemed to be only a short distance away. Where do you want to find your home if your home is everywhere? Again, this voice. I stopped and looked across at the wide sky. My longing for home, my search for home, and now this statement, now this feeling. Who is talking to me? Nobody is talking to you. It is just the expression of this state. It is at home everywhere. Coming out of Croxley, I passed by the Kenwood office. Why don't you go inside and wish them Merry Christmas? I hesitated. Why do you hesitate? Just like this? Yes, just like this. Such simple things. Too small for you to notice. You were always after those grand ones. Enlightenment, wisdom, liberation. Nothing else seemed to matter. I turned back at the roundabout, parked next to Kenwood's, and walked inside. Hi, the man is here, Michael shouted at the door. Who's ordered a courier? No, I didn't come for the package. I came to say Merry Christmas. Michael, a busy and nervous person, never looked anyone straight in the face. Now, as if embraced by the peace in me, he stopped and looked over. I could see his mind slow down and his nervousness calm. Oh, that's very nice of you. He smiled at me kindly. Everyone, he turned to the group. The gentleman came to wish us Merry Christmas. Everyone stopped working and waved at me. Merry Christmas. I nodded back in the direction of the group. I went to Morrison's. There is a huge car park that opens up the space, and I stopped there. People must sense it, must feel it somehow. They approach you so eagerly. They are somehow attracted, drawn to you. Some motorcyclist came towards me. We talked for a while and then went our ways. I leaned against my bike, turned to the sky and stood there just breathing peacefully. The sky, slowly and almost unnoticeably, became vast again, close and sibylline. There is this movement, like a wave, pushing you from the inside. It takes you to the edge. Suddenly, you find yourself out there on this edge. Everything you know is behind you, and an abyss of the unknown is in front of you. The soundless voice from you or from somewhere in this sky says it in a straightforward manner and with some encouragement. Take this step. Surrender. You see instantly how much you are attached to this world, to everything you know, to everything you experience. You know that when you take this step, it will be the end of you as you know yourself. It says again, without the slightest insistence, surrender. The fear is overpowering. Your whole body runs with shivers and starts to shake. Tears flow down your face. I can't, I cry, I can't. The sky retreats. The distance between it and you changes. You are back here among the world you know. It's safe. I wipe the tears with the back of my hand and look around to see if anybody could see me. I get back on the bike, back on the road, and ride, and ride, and ride. evening was coming to a close. I stopped in one of the small streets around Askew Road. Looking across to my left and up, my eyes fell on a tree framed by the twilight sky. How beautiful this tree is, and the sky above it. It astonished me, and at the same time surprised me. How come? I haven't felt like this for years. For years, nothing drew my attention. I'd never seen the beauty of the world around me, and now this, the tree and the evening sky. I stood there, mesmerized by the whole scene. A postie van stopped. The driver dashed out past me and approached the post box just to my left. You were okay? Ready for festive season? Almost. Again, this ease in me, and the warmth of human contact. So rare in the life I lived and in my occupation, filled with loneliness, isolation and distance, but now it's all gone. And just the sense of ease and connection to everything around remains. The trees, the sky, and the people. We exchanged a few sentences. "Merry Christmas," he said, jumping into his van. "Merry Christmas." I pulled out my phone, switched some music on and put it closer to my face. The sound vibrated with incredible aliveness and in an instant penetrated my body. So vivid and alive were all these notes. I was shocked again. Gosh, what beautiful sounds. I started to look for the title of the song. It was Ain't That Peculiar by Marvin Gaye. I looked back at the tree, the sky, and the place where the post van had stopped. Now, isn't that peculiar? I woke up in the morning, in this light. The breakthrough you wait for is not through the change of conditions. Half awake, I stood up and wrote it down on a piece of paper. Then, we are all connected. We can help each other. The moment I thought of each other, I thought of this girl, a friend of mine. The sentence was strangely applicable to her situation. She was so frustrated and she struggled so much trying to improve her life. I took one of my Christmas cards and wrote the sentence that somehow seemed specifically directed at her. I got out of the bath and looked around. Everything glowed with this strange light, as if every object had its own internal light, even my hands and nails. All my movements had changed. The body became light and flexible. It began moving in an unobstructed way, full of effortless grace. There is nothing that overburdens you. That may be why this lightness. I stopped in the middle of my room and looked at my books. I had collected them over the years and considered them my only precious possession. Now, I was shocked at perceiving them as something useless to me, of no benefit, even harmful, just piles of worthless paper. The life of others, not yours. The thoughts they thought, the experiences they experienced, the knowledge they have created and passed on, their beliefs, their customs, their rituals, their rules and the patterns they have set. They tell you how to live, how to dress, what to eat. You're just an imitation. Yet you claim individuality. Nothing is yours. And the few art books you kept, you admired the forms, but what you were looking for is not to be found in forms. You set your priorities wrong. You cherished wrong things. And this will be my one task before the last one, to sell my books. Everything slows down. You are not in a hurry anymore. There is nowhere to go and nothing to achieve any longer. Maybe that's why there's peace. My thinking stopped. The thinking has to be there because I was functioning in a sane way, but obsessive thinking disappeared. The compulsive, tiresome, exhausting, nagging thinking was gone. I functioned in a simple manner. The never-ending internal chatter stopped. The mind became like space, like a vast open space, unencumbered and undisturbed by anything. All matters were pushed aside. Only what was directly in front of me, what I was doing right now, everything was simple and direct. I went to the Polish Center of Culture in the early afternoon. I would greet everyone and wish them Merry Christmas. People would approach me and talk to me. I would stop and listen to them, not saying much. Others engaged in conversations between themselves. They were mostly talking about nothing. There was absolutely nothing to what they said. It was all empty, without any substance whatsoever, just meaningless noise. I was listening patiently and without condemnation. It didn't even tire me. I was just surprised at the endless flow of meaningless sounds to which others seemed so strongly committed, in which others so vehemently engaged. I was left alone to rest in that silence. From its stillness, I admired the beauty of the world pouring in through the gigantic windows of the restaurant, a splendor somehow unimportant and unnoticed by others. The trees, the space, and the people, the human form is so beautiful. A young couple came into the restaurant and sat next to that huge window. Fragments of this December sun illuminated their faces. I couldn't believe how beautiful they were. In this sun, in this light. The girl I was thinking of this morning turned up at the club, and I gave her the card. She was surprised. She phoned me in the evening. "Can I talk to you?" she asked. "If it's not through the change of conditions, then what?" My language has changed. This internal peace reveals itself in simple, unadorned sentences. I couldn't believe the statements that were coming out of me, peaceful and orderly, austere but rich, refined, and at the same time simple and unpretentious, spoken in a voice gracious and warm, ever patient and never exhausted. In this voice, I said, "It is through the change of heart." I could hear her breathing on the other side of the phone. You see, you set your mind so much on things, and in the process of trying to acquire them, you exhausted yourself. And now you are tired and restless and stressed. She started to cry. Heart needs to be at peace. Otherwise, it cannot accomplish anything. And the strangest thing is, which I didn't tell her, that once it is at peace, it doesn't need to accomplish anything. was standing in the kitchen window on the first day of Christmas. Images of you started to sweep across my mind. I smiled at each and every one. In this immeasurable ocean like love, there was an island, the love for a particular woman. And this woman was you. Why now? We had known each other for over a year. You always showed unusual kindness towards me, and this rare gentleness, this interest in me, the way you would hand me my change. I would compliment the way you looked, your hair or your nails. You would discourage me from drinking coffee. I would bring you some cake, and we would chat and laugh. And sometimes you would smile at me with the strange joy of a fresh sunlit morning. I never asked you your name, and you never asked mine. I never wanted to spoil it by asking for more. Indeed, I never wanted more. Then, I guess, I wanted to reach out to you or for you. Strange, because I never wanted more, and never knew much of anything. Didn't even know that asking for more of you would be more of everything. I invited you for Christmas. You said you'd let me know. Then wrote you wouldn't come. I called. You never answered. I sent a message. You didn't respond. I didn't know why, and I thought of not seeing you anymore. That was only 3 days ago. Now I was standing in this window. I could see the creasing lines on your lips, the beauty of your eyes, the whole beauty of you. And the strangest, the wanting was gone. What am I going to do? How to tell you? What to tell you? I knew that only after completing all my tasks would I have one more to go and stand in front of you. Why? How? With what? For what? I didn't know.